Hello again, Michael Ware with the Iowa Firearms Coalition. We have with us today Dave Bushaw. He's running for Iowa governor. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Brother Michael. I appreciate you for having me on.
I'm glad that you're here. Let's hop right into our candidate files. We've asked every person these same questions. That comes from a blog on our site, and these are our 4 legislative agendas, by the way. Let me share that screen. And it'll be a little bit more obvious. And we talk about the Second Amendment as a litmus test for politicians. So we're going to delve right into the context of the 4 questions and ask each one. And then we'll turn the stage over to you so you can tell us a little bit about yourself and what we need to know. So very first, history has shown that no gun zone policies do not protect those gathered at schools and other designated locations. In fact, some of the worst mass murderers have deliberately targeted these sites because they expected little or no armed resistance. Federal law and the laws of some states permit qualified individuals with valid carry permits to possess firearms in schools and on school property. The question is this: will you support changing the Iowa Code to recognize an Iowa permit to carry as sufficient for any school?
Sure. Thanks, Michael. And I just want to preface here with the fact that personally, I am concerned about all of these different places in America where we're being told that we can't exercise our Second Amendment right. Recently, members of this administration have said that nobody should be carrying a firearm at a protest. I got to tell you, Brother Michael, just like with schools, bad actors often take advantage of these places of mass gathering to inflict mass casualties. I've been to a lot of protests. I've been armed at almost all of them. And I also agree that you should be able to carry a firearm in school. The way that it stands now, from what I understand, is individuals authorized by the state can carry guns in schools, and about 30% of these states in the United States currently allow for, with a special training course or otherwise, to carry on school property or with board permission. So I would say yes, but I don't think that it's just confined to the conversation of schools. Everywhere you should be able to carry a firearm. I can carry a gun into the Capitol, but I can't carry a 5-inch knife. Are you kidding me? So that's where I stand.
Okay, thank you. Let's move to the second question. Here's the context. When employers ban firearms or ammunition in private vehicles and on company property, employees must choose between violating company policy and forfeiting their ability to lawfully defend themselves during their commute, and daily activities. The Iowa Firearms Coalition believes the appropriate balance between employer property rights and individual rights, including privacy and self-defense, lies at the locked door of a private vehicle. The laws of at least 26 states recognize and uphold this balance. The question is this: will you support legislation to protect Iowans from the de facto firearm ban on private and public employer parking lots?
Again, echoing the answer to the last question, yes, I think that that's a fair safety measure. Just like in your home, your firearm needs to be locked up, out of access of others. Your car, there's a certain level of discretion that you shouldn't be anticipating your car is going to get broken into, but you are taking that extra measure to protect your property and protect others who may not be educated or informed and responsible with firearms. You are adding that level of security. I see that as sufficient.
Okay, thank you. So, context for the third question. Since 1934, federal law has strictly regulated but not prohibited the private ownership of machine gun suppressors, short-barreled rifles, shotguns, and other items regulated under the National Firearms Act. Iowa law classifies many of these items as offensive weapons in Iowa Code Section 724.1. Iowa has allowed private ownership of suppressors, SBRs, SBS, and more for nearly a decade without issue. Nationwide, crimes committed with NFA weapons are virtually non-existent. Iowa is one of only 14 states that ban items like machine guns, which are completely legal on a federal level. The Supreme Court's Bruin decision is being cited to overturn bans and challenge the remaining injustices scattered across America. The question is this: will you support removing 724.1 and related statutes from Iowa Code?
One thing that I'll say to start off here, Michael, is that you hear a lot from politicians saying, I don't think that anybody needs a machine gun, or I don't think anybody needs an assault rifle. Even President Ronald Reagan, when he was governor, said, I don't think any American should be walking down the street with a loaded weapon. I couldn't disagree more. This modern day of, you got folks like, on the left that are saying, yes, we're going to take your assault rifles. You've got folks on the right, including our president, who said, I like to take the guns first, due process second in regards to red flag laws. I don't know where we've gotten with this country, Brother Michael, but it's concerning. Even if you look back in history, the communist Karl Marx even understood it. He said, by no pretext should the working class be disarmed. Any attempt to disarm the working class must be frustrated by force if necessary. So yes, I do believe that we need an informed, educated, and organized and armed working class here in the United States. And that includes the ownership of machine guns. They're expensive anyways. Who's just going and we're not going to just have a bunch of people going and buying firearms. It's going to be responsible and deliberate firearm owners.
Agreed. Okay. Question 4. Here's the context. The Iowa Firearms Coalition supports the creation of a specially Gadsden flag license plate in Iowa to recognize and celebrate Second Amendment rights while affirming opposition to government overreach. The plate would serve as a voluntary funding source for firearm safety and educational programs through an additional registration fee. Although the proposal passed the Iowa House with bipartisan support in 2024 and 25, it failed to advance in the Senate. In 2026, Senate leadership, after having given personal assurance, we're going to get it done, offered Iowans a bait-and-switch bill funding bureaucracies, the NRC, along with Homeland Security and Emergency Management. That was Senate File 2409. IFC is encouraging Iowans to support the measure, which we believe reflects the will of the people, particularly following the overwhelming adoption of Iowa's Freedom Amendment. Featuring the historic Don't Tread on Me motto, the Gadsden flag has long symbolized individual liberty and resistance to unnecessary government intrusion, making it a fitting choice for a specialty plate. The question is this: will you support the Gadsden plate legislation that directs voluntary funding for 2A education, safety, and training?
So let me just go ahead and rephrase this real quick so I make sure that the folks watching understand too. The question is, should we have an opportunity for folks that are supportive of firearm safety training to purchase a design for their license plate that goes to a good cause? Yes, absolutely. People should be able to spend their money on that. And also this would, a lot of these questions that you're asking relate to legislative changes at the state level. Me running for United States Congress, I won't be directly involved in making some of these changes, but I would be supportive and additive. One of those would be I am calling for universal firearm and hunter safety training in all publicly funded colleges, schools, and universities in the United States to maintain an informed, educated, and organized American people. And I would support any measure that is going to support firearm safety. What's the alternative, Mike? There's people that buy license plate covers as it is. They're all made in China. Why not use the opportunity to spruce up your license plate, bring in some tax dollars for a good purpose? So yeah, absolutely. And if if LGBTQ folks want to do it for some kind of healthcare thing there, or if another group wants to do it for another kind of health and safety thing, I think we should expand those license plates and keep those tax dollars here in Iowa helping Iowans, rather than padding the pockets of some corporation with their crappy, janky license plate covers.
There we go. Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you for answering the questions. I'm going to share your website here. So we've got Dave Bushaw, independent, running for Congress. I've got your site up here. I'd like to turn it over to you. Can you walk us through your vision, what folks need to know about you, and let us know how they can get in touch with you and support you and help?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. So I believe that both parties are corrupted beyond reform. I'm 31 years old. I'm one of the youngest first-generation self-made independent farmland owners in the United States. And in my entire 31 years on this planet and in Iowa, both parties have systematically and deliberately failed the working class. They've delivered nothing consequential. We're called flyover country a lot of times in here in the rural areas. And I want to build in Iowa and build a rural America that young folks like me are encouraged to plant their feet in the dirt and stay here and build a family and build a life. This isn't about left or right. It's about up and down. The very, very wealthy elite at the very top, which is part of a small club that a lot of congressional members include themselves in. And then there's all the rest of us. My campaign is based around deliverable solutions. The culture war and social schisms between some of our ideologies, we can work that out after the bad actors and the corruption's taken out of government. I want to focus on how do we keep the healthiest, most productive working class possible, not just here in Iowa, but in the United States and on the face of the planet. We are already the most productive country on the face of the planet, but that doesn't reflect a lot in the returns and support for the working class. 40% of Americans can't even afford an unexpected $500 expense. So many Americans are total millions of dollars in debt from healthcare because of the control of the healthcare monopolies. The agricultural monopolies are taking over our land. Almost 1 in 4 acres in Iowa is under a corporate trust, more often than not controlled by some multinational and foreign corporation. We're losing the heart and soul of America. A lot of us young folks don't have a lot to look forward to, and they're leaving Iowa. I stuck my feet here in the dirt early at 19 years old, became a first-generation farmer, and I intend to fight for the place that raised me and made me the man that I am. So I would encourage folks to support my campaign, and I'm looking forward to earning your trust and support. We might not agree on everything. We probably don't. I hope we don't. But we can have a conversation like adults, and at the end of the day, we're both Americans. We want what's best, and I think if we were able to have that dialogue like my parents and my grandparents talked about we used to have, I think this would be a better place. Now it's just fights and cancel culture, and I can't stand for it. It's tearing us apart, Michael. So I appreciate you for letting me come on, and I'd encourage folks, you can find me at Bushaw for Congress on social media. Looking forward to hearing from you and seeing you on the campaign trail.
Fantastic. So folks can put in the word or the name Dave, and then the name Bushaw, Bushaw. You put that in your internet browser. You'll easily navigate to his page. You can go through the tabs, meet Dave, check out his platform, see what events he's going to be at, where and when, volunteer, make a pledge, see where he's in the news, and I'll have availability, contact him. And you got Facebook, Instagram, just about every social media you can think of is on here so that you can watch, integrate, and stay up to the minute. And as much as I loathe social media from time to time, I realize a lot of people are there and they need to be able to stay in touch, and it's a great way to do that. So you've got many ways to learn about Dave Bushaw, his run as an independent for Congress. So check him out. Is there anything that we need to know before I let you go, Dave? Thank you for your time today, by the way.
Absolutely, Michael. Thanks for the opportunity. We are the first no-party independent candidate that is qualified for the ballot in modern history here in Northeast Iowa. I went back about 3/4 of a century, and I've not found another one. So our goal now is to qualify for the debate stage on Iowa PBS. So I would encourage folks to support the campaign so we can qualify and be potentially the first no-party, unaffiliated candidate to qualify for the debate stage. And America's 250th birthday is coming up here. If folks are in the Clear Lake area, would love to see you out to walk with us in the parade. We're going to have a live band on the back of the float. We're going to have a lot of fun and representing the working class.
That sounds fantastic. Dave, thank you very much. Dave Bushaw is running for independent, as an independent, he's running for Congress. Check him out. Type in Dave and Bushaw into your internet browser and learn more. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Michael.